After a blockbuster trade with the Chicago Bears, the Carolina Panthers are now on the clock in the 2023 NFL Draft. Chicago gets a haul, including DJ Moore, and Carolina has a chance to finally get their franchise quarterback. Let's talk about it. Okay, hello and welcome to Draft Brothers, a Champions Round podcast. I am your host, Jeff Hasley, joined by Dan Turner. We are going to talk about the big news that just happened with Carolina trading up to Chicago for the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. Wow. Wow, geez. So much to unpack. Yeah, so let's go over what the pick details are. So the Panthers received the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft. The Bears will receive the Panthers' number 9 pick in the first round this year, the number 61 pick in this year's draft, a first-round pick in 2024, so next year, a second-round pick in 2025, plus the big one, wide receiver DJ Moore. So that looks like an overpayment, and I get it. You kind of have to overpay if you're looking to land a quarterback, let alone a blue chip quarterback, let alone the number 1 overall pick, especially coming up from pick 9. If you look at the picks, though, it's really not that bad. A 2024 first is the only first round pick they're giving up. Well, I mean, unless you count this year's, but they also get Chicago, so it's kind of a wash in that regard. So they didn't have to give up a 2025 first. However, they did have to give up DJ Moore, and that's the stinger. There was a question, are they going to sign DJ Moore to a long-term contract? Well, now they don't have to, and they can focus that on other areas, and they can also target wide receivers in free agency as well. And if you look at the draft, the Panthers still have some pretty decent picks. I mean, they still have a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth in this year's draft, plus the number 1 overall pick. So, I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, let's just kind of see what they do in free agency. But I get the overspend on Carolina's side. I hate that they lose DJ Moore in the process, but I love the fact that they're able to secure their potential franchise quarterback in either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. So I don't know. If you're on the Chicago side, Dan, how do you feel about this?
If I'm Chicago, I am personally ecstatic.
Right.
I mean, you're getting 2 picks. You're moving back a little bit this year. Plus, you're getting the 61st pick. You're getting that first next year's draft, and with Carolina trading away DJ Moore, you think that's probably going to be a top 15 pick, no matter who they take at quarterback this year. And then you have the second rounder in 2025, and then you get Justin Fields, the number 1 receiver he so desperately needs. It allows Darnell Mooney to slot into his more natural number 2 spot. And then they also have Chase Claypool. So all of a sudden, Chicago is going into next year with a pretty decent, wide receiver core. I think it's a masterstroke for Chicago. Chicago should be sending, a gift basket to Lovie Smith
absolutely,
for having the Texans win that game. But I really couldn't imagine, a much better haul than what they got.
Yeah. No, if I'm a Bears fan, I am very happy with this. One, because they can still get a good quality player at pick 9, and they get all those additional picks for the future. So in their process of rebuilding, they're rebuilding with some big bricks and stone right now. So that's looking very good for them.
So now, here as the Panthers guy, between the two of us, who are you taking at number 1 now?
So I like CJ Stroud. I do. Now, if Carolina can convince Houston that they want Bryce Young, maybe Houston says, well, here, we'll give you this to move up to number 1, right? So they can get Young and Carolina can get Stroud. And that's how they kind of wanted it all along anyway. Kind of similar to what the Bears and the 49ers did with Solomon Thomas and the quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, and I forget which draft it was, 2017, maybe 18. I think so. Similar to that, right? So if they can convince Houston that they want Bryce Young, That's interesting. But no, I like Stroud. I think it's going to be Stroud. We know that quarterback coach Josh McCown had some excellent things to say about Stroud. I mean, they said some good things about Bryce Young as well. So I mean, there's absolutely no dissing him there. But I think Stroud is going to be the pick. I think that he is. A lot of people are saying he's in that Joe Burrow type of mold. If Carolina can secure a quarterback of that ability and pedigree, stature, then I think that's the move. And just the way that he looked at the combine, looking very smooth, the way that he looked and how he executed, especially in the 2-minute offense against Georgia, when they knew it was coming and he still executed. I mean, that right there says an awful lot about his ability, about his his football intellect on making decisions. Okay, this guy's covered. This particular defense is what I'm seeing. Okay, I'm gonna chop it down to the running back, or perhaps a receiver who's running a square out that can get out of bounds. I'm not going to go for that deep pass because look, they've got more than one safety back. Stuff like that. Yeah. I like what I see in both of those quarterbacks, but I think the pick is going to be Stroud based on what the Panthers, their staff, Josh McCown, are saying about him. And I think that's why they made the pick, or either made the trade, is to move up. And I have a feeling that they offered a trade without DJ Moore, and Chicago's like, nah, throw in DJ Moore. Carolina's like,
all right,
we'll do that. So now they have to figure out, okay, well, how do we replace DJ Moore? And you've got free agency coming up. You've got guys like Robert Woods, a little bit past his prime, but still can play. Yeah. You've got, I know that they were possibly targeting Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman's not a wide receiver one type of player. But perhaps Robert Woods is. That's an option. And there's not a whole lot of good, strong wide receiver one type of receivers in free agency. So
no,
this might be a work in progress for sure.
Yeah, definitely more of a committee approach, at least this year. Plus, you also have that second round pick if you want to grab a receiver there too. All right. So last thing, so we can wrap this up. If they take Anthony Richardson, would you be happy with that?
No, I would not. This is either Stroud or Young or bust, right? So I don't think they moved up to get Anthony Richardson. If that were the case, they probably would have tried to do the same type of trade or similar trade with Arizona. So, and I think we recall hearing the fact that they kind of had Richardson a little bit lower down on their rankings. So, I think that it's definitely going to be Stroud or Young.
All right, so that'll do it for this breaking news edition of Draft Brothers. Be sure to tune in next week, where we continue our series on what different NFL teams are going to be doing in the NFL draft. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.